So we've got two nice hot hatches in stock. We've got on the left of me a 2014, a late 2014, 33,000 mile VXR with 189 horsepower. This is up at 8190. And then to the right of me, we've got a newer but high mileage 2017, early 2017 Fiesta ST3 with, I think, standard 180 horsepower, but this is the mount-tuned version, 212 horsepower. So be a good comparison between the two. This is an ST3. It's got 83,000 miles, up at 8290. So there's only 100 quid difference in it. So yeah, we'll see what we think of them both and which we prefer. We're in the VXR first. This, having only done 33,000 miles, it feels a bit like a time warp because I actually owned one when I was 19. I had it for a year and it blew up. But I did do 55,000 miles in it for about a year and 3 months. I don't remember them riding this hard, but maybe I'm just old now.
That's probably it.
Yeah. This VXR is completely standard apart from this head unit, which doesn't make too much of a difference from the drive. So it is a firm ride and we are on a bumpy road currently, but yeah, I mean, it's about as nice as you can get a Corsa VXR. I think for the price you can get a Corsa VXR, but they're exactly the same car with a different front end. I think Vauxhall claimed there was a slightly different suspension setup, but I don't think there was. This being a normal VXR as opposed to like the Nürburgring edition ones, it's only got 189 horsepower. My one had 205.
Oh, brag.
Yeah, big difference. I mean, it still goes really well, this. Oh my God. And I think it's had a rather gentle life from what I can tell. You know, it's unmodified, untested. It is completely base spec.
Yeah.
Like, there's not, the heated seats are blanking out. Obviously someone's put a head unit in it, but it would have just had the small screen radio. There's cruise control, but that was standard on these. It doesn't have auto lights. It doesn't have, obviously, the standard sat nav. It has sat nav now, which is a shame. It's got the smaller 17-inch wheels, which I actually quite like. I quite like the fact that it's, you know, if you walked into a showroom and just ticked VXR, this is what you would get. Yeah, nothing else. This is what you'd get. I think this was an ex-demo car for the first 6 months of its life, because the first owner was Eden Vauxhall, which I find interesting because this is one of the last of the Corsa D shape. I actually prefer the Corsa D shape.
I do as well.
And I'm giving an unbiased review here because I much prefer the interior. I much prefer how they look from the outside. I mean, both don't have a great reputation, do they?
No, that's why I've never really been too keen on them.
I think, for me, I had a choice when I bought mine between a Mark 7 ST and a VXR. I think the Fiesta is a better quality item, but like, all the plastics in here are really, really hard. Yeah. I love the seats in both of them. But I love the fact the ST3 has a few nicer specs, which you'll see in a minute.
I prefer the seats in these.
Really?
I think they just look so much better.
I think they look better for sure. Definitely look better for sure.
Maybe the ST ones grip you a little bit better, but I don't know.
I think so. I think the ST, if you were bigger, you'd struggle to fit in them, because this actually has quite a wide base. Yeah. And the bolsters aren't too tight. I'm skinny, so this barely hugs me. But the Fiesta ST ones really do. I do like this. It's a time warp going back. You know what I noticed as well? Like, even this plastic, I know it's all hard touch, that's a different plastic from a standard car. Really? The VXRs are the only ones that get that textured plastic on the dash.
God, how lucky.
Yeah, I know. Don't ask me why. I don't think they felt as quick as I remember, but I think it's just because I grew up a bit.
And you've been in quicker cars.
Yeah, and drove quicker cars. But at the time, it was the first quick car I owned, and it felt quick as anything, you know? Thought I could chop a Lambo in it, probably. You know? I like how big the gear knob is, the square, chunky gear knob. They're both 6 speeds. I remember this being really, really short geared. So when I'm at 6th, I can be in 6th at 30. And I think what ultimately blew up my VXR was motorway miles at 90. And I was doing 4,500 RPM just for hours on end driving. So I think that's what ended up killing the my VXR. These do have an inherent issue there, don't they? Which is piston 4 kind of deletes itself. I remember when I bought mine, I bought it from a Kia garage, and they said they won't warrant the piston 4 issue.
Really?
Yeah.
If they knew it would happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I bought mine on 19,000 miles.
That's crazy.
And sold it broken on 72,000 miles in a year and 3 months. Right, we're in the Fiesta now.
Unfortunately.
Well, you prefer the VXR as well?
Well, neither really.
You just want your Audi back.
Well, that's still a stretch.
I mean, instantly, I will say, it's quicker. It does feel a bit quicker. Quality-wise, I'd say the plastics aren't as hard. I think the interior of these is always a bit of a love-hate for people. I actually personally quite like it. I still prefer the VXR. Everything about it is a bit nicer. Look, they're the same price. This has done a lot more miles. It's on 83,000, like we said before. But it's got heated seats, climate control. This being an ST3, so it has quite like auto lights, auto wipers. Doesn't have cruise control, this, which the VXR does.
Oh.
The ST is a bit better of a, like a, we'll just hit a pothole. Of a, like a, I would say like a, it suited more demographics. The VXR was definitely sold to like, or definitely now mainly sold to like, well, you know, chavs outside McDonald's. I think you can get like standard STs that your dad will like. This one is modified. I wouldn't say heavily. So it's mount tuned to 212 horsepower, which we mentioned. I think, don't quote me on that, you could tick that as a factory option. Like they'd send it to mount tune. I don't think that's a standard exhaust.
It's not.
It's a bit too loud. It's not actually that loud, but it's louder than they would have definitely let it go standard. It's lowered. I think this is lowered. This isn't the original suspension, no way. And it rides a lot harder than the VXR, and the VXR already rode pretty hard. But it does go well, this, doesn't it? Like in every gear.
That lets me down is that neither of them have much torque at all.
Yeah, but I think we'll just use the diesels where you expect it, you know. Yeah, this is so much quicker.
Yeah.
So much quicker. Definitely lowered. Oh, I can't picture myself owning a hot hatch anymore. I'm too old. Hurts my hemorrhoids. I mean, we are on a sort of bumpy road.
Yeah.
Cooper SD's going for it. I mean, it's got like push to start, keyless entry. It has arrived with a GoPro mount already stuck on the dash, which won't be for safety reasons, will it? This has obviously had a harder life. So for the money, you're kind of weighing up, do you want a really nice cherished example of an old VXR?
Yeah.
Or do you want a higher spec, way newer, but way higher miles? And and has some history of probably, I don't think this is one lady owner. This has only ever had one owner, 0 previous owners, yeah. So the person who owned this and done 83,000 miles in it has had it from brand new. So it probably actually is quite a nice, well looked after example, you'd hope. And it does have full service history. Now, these being a 1.6 EcoBoost, the thing about the EcoBoost, you know, like the 1 litre EcoBoost, they've got a wet belt engine. They have coolant issues and they keep blowing up, hence why they're called EcoBooms. These 1.6 do not have a wet belt, which is good. So they're nowhere near as unreliable. I still don't think they're great, but I think it's more when you sell hot hatches, you're going to have issues because people rank the hell out of them.
Yeah.
So, God, this would wind me up. I wore this rides hard. Like, real hard. The GoPro is probably flicking around all over the place. Everyone always says the Fiesta ST drives better, and I do agree. Bear in mind, I am a bit VXR biased.
I think this drives better.
Yeah, the way this handles, the way this feels, yeah, I think Fiesta, like Ford got it spot on. Pedals in the right position, steering wheel, lots of adjustment, the seats are lovely. I'm glad this one has the grey interior rather than you could get these with the red interior on the insert.
Yes, you can, yeah.
Which I'm not a huge fan of.
I'm not a fan of the seats.
Well, you don't like the seats at all?
No.
I love how they look.
I just don't like these top bolsters here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think Ford's always done hot hatches really well. Like this spins its wheels in seconds. So, like these to me though never feel anywhere near as special. Do you know what I mean? When I'm driving a VXR when I was younger, I felt like people would look at my car.
You felt like the boy.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Unless they're modified, and even when they're modified, you know. I think if you're going to buy one of these, it has to be an ST3. With the VXR, I'd quite happily. Mine didn't have loads of spec. Wasn't as basic as the one we have, but it felt special enough to me. It didn't bother. While this, I'd have to, because I pictured it as more of like an all-rounder. I think it'd have to have quite a good spec. We're saying how the dash, I think someone told me it was designed based off like a Nokia in 2008. Obviously this is the facelift, so it has like these buttons are all different, but the pre-facelift had like proper buttons that look more like a Nokia phone. I don't know if that's true, but yeah.
I'm just not a fan.
I do remember thinking the interior is just newer and nicer in these, but they only released the ST. I think they released the VXR within 6 months of that Corsa shape coming out. You know, you could get a late 2008 one, you know?
Yeah.
In fact, you could get an early one. I think those Corsas were out in 2007, weren't they? Yeah, because you can get like 57 late ones. Well, these, the Mark 7 ST, Mark 7 Fiesta came out in 2008-ish, didn't it? Late 2008. And they didn't create an ST till they facelifted it until 2013. So you can only get a 63 plate ST onwards, I guess, which are all facelift ones, which is interesting. The closest you could get was a Z-Tech S. It was spinning the wheels, and I sent that to his dad. He was like, my son's an angel, you'd never do such a thing. This is why I don't sell too many hot hatches, and I'm a little bit wary about having two in. Right, are you ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
7.85 seconds.
Okay. Is that good? Who knows? That was 25, so we'll do 25 to 70.
25 to 70.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that every time.
That'd be a standard test.
Okay.
Is that good? We have no idea.
No.
I will say the Fiesta is mountune, isn't it? So I think it's a slight. Normally these VXRs had 189 standard, and the STs were 180s, weren't they? So 179. I remember it always said.
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. When? Oh!
7.12.
Yeah. Okay, 7.12. So we weren't a million miles off. We were closer to being correct. So as you saw, the results are in of the 25 to 70 test. This came in at 7 seconds and 85. This 7 seconds and 12. Now we kind of knew this would be a lot quicker because, as we said, it is a mountune version. But yeah, I was following Lewis in this, and that is so much quicker. But it felt like I was in a 1.2 trying to keep up with this. Now the section we've all been waiting for, practicality. Don't ask me where I got this from. I found it. It didn't come with the baby. But first we will try the Corsa. First things first, we get this thing in. I'll be honest, I've never done this on a 3-door. I'm not even sure it's possible because that thing's quite bulky, but we'll find out. Might want to blur out my plumber's ass. So then you put this, how do I use this one? I've got two, so they're both different. This one's got the old hidden isofix points. The problem with this only doing 33,000 miles is it looks like no one's ever been in the back, so it's proper stiff. There we go. She's in. Oh, nice and easy. Now I need to put this down. Put that down. At this point, the child will be screaming because he always just wants to, if he's in his seat, he wants to be moving. There is no patience. I mean, he is only 3 months, so, you know. I was going to do this test with him in it, but Mother said no. How do you put this in a 3-door? Ah! Jesus. I've just read this. This is the driving position I have to be in to get that in. So I'm going to give this a score out of 1 to 10. Well, it wasn't actually too bad getting it in, so we'll give that, like that, that's got some marks. Is a bit of a problem, so I'm going to give this like a 3. And all 3 points go to the fact that it wasn't actually that bad to get in. Look at that! There's loads of room. There's loads more room. I don't know if it feels like there's loads of room. Like it doesn't get stuck on the back of the seat. So this one's all right. And obviously, look, it fits well under the parcel shelf. Happy days. You could nearly fit 2 in there. Maybe. Don't know why you'd have 2 kids in this, but never mind. Perfect. This is even better. So yeah, top marks for the Corsa. So now we're going to try the Fiesta. This being a Fiesta, I have a feeling, I'm hoping it'll be easier because it's a Fiesta. So you would have thought, even though it's a 3-door, maybe there's a bit more room or something. Let's find out. Instantly, Opening looks bigger. Let's get this thing in. I'll be honest, I'm doing it on the wrong side. I was doing it right-handed on the Corsa, but left-handed on this. Oh look, I can get in with it. It's so much better already. There you go, she's in. And now for the seat, that's already folded down. There is a lot more room in this, look. Probably because it hasn't got this obnoxious... Oh, there's not actually... Oh, up the leather. Oh, imagine doing that with a crying baby. Saying that, that's not too bad. Now I'm going to have to do the driving position, which obviously we're on the passenger side, but we'll see. Oh, this is even worse. Actually, how does anyone do this? I think maybe that's what... Actually, there is a bit more room. Not much. I couldn't drive like this every day. Ow! To get a bit more leg room, look. And now my legs are okay. My head, on the other hand, is not. I'm going to give this a 4. So they're both really bad, and 3 of which it was okay. It was about the same to get it in the back. I just don't understand how you could drive. I must be doing something wrong. Like, that's as far back as it can go on the car seat, and that's the best you can get. Verdict: if you want a hot hatch, but you have a 3-month-old son, get your missus to drive her car everywhere and follow you, or just don't. So, final verdict, my honest, unbiased, biased opinion. I'm going to score them on 3 things. First of all, looks. I do like both of these. You've got the McDonald's mobile or the vape machine, or vape vehicle we called it. I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. I don't like when you put eyelids and stuff like that, but this one's done nicely. It is lowered. I do like them with little boiler lips and stuff. Me, I've got a soft spot for a VXR, as I mentioned. I've had one, and I loved it.
I'm getting the word nonce.
I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Always like them. Don't care what reputation they have. Don't pull that face. I like these, right? I like these, okay? I just do. This one maybe could be near an 8, but you get the bigger wheel options, you know. You don't need to, my point is, to get these to look nice, you've got to kind of do some gentle mods. This is completely standard. I like it, right? What's next one? Performance. This one's not standard, but I have driven a standard one. I'd say they're about the same. This one's obviously better. We'll go 9 out of 10 for a hot hatch, and this is a 7.5. These handle way better. Standard handle way better. This one just understeered a lot, but the one I had a limited slip diff because it was Nürburgring. Did I mention I had a Nürburgring edition? That had an LSD, so it cornered way better. This one just understeers a bit. Straight line speed, if they were both standard, I think they're basically the same. But yeah, so that one wins on that. And then the final one was practicality. Now, on my VXR, I drove it all over the place and I never really had any issues, but I didn't have any kid. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have either if you have kids. If you don't, they'll do a job for both. You can get in the back of both. You can even get a car seat in the back as long as you've got no legs to drive it with. You know, we'll give them a 3 out of 10 if you've got kids and a 7 out of 10, both of them. So overall, it's basically even match for me. Just depends if you could deal with looking like you pick up 12-year-old girls outside of school and then take them to Mackey's and then claim it's your child. Or whether you like to sit in an Asda car park at night, vaping at, you know, midnight, revving with your pop and bang map. It's preference. I think you can't go wrong with either, or you're going wrong with either. It's whichever way you look at it. Make your own decision, let us know.